In the winter of 1970, the Perrin family had moved into a farmhouse residing in Harrisville, Rhode Island. A 14-bedroom home, which is fucking crazy. They had 5 daughters too, which is like, oh my god. You know, gotta stop that shit, man. Damn. In just some small time, the haunting began. Carolyn hearing sounds of scratching against the kettle. The family's broom moving from room to room when they weren't around. The family claiming it moved by itself. Even smells had begun to spread around the house, described as a horrid rotting smell that filled every room. In just a small amount of time, the infamous Warrens had shown up to the farmhouse, taking what originally had been a plain haunted house story to demonic possession, exaggerating the small story to heavy proportions. This is where the story ends mostly, for now. The family claiming the haunting ended in 1979. Even the Perrin family saying they had nothing to do to even stop the haunting. It just stopped, suddenly. Now, that is the stage set for the film of The Conjuring. Let us begin our critique of The Conjuring. The parents are the beating heart of this film. They are the ones that care about each other. They are the pure heart and core of all the themes of sticking together through hard times as a family. Without them, there is no film. You also have the Warrens and their family to some extent, but they are only there as a Ghostbuster type role. The Warrens are only there to serve the parents. The parents are the header of the train that keeps the plot going. This is really most evident in the beginning scenes of them moving in. The girls are playing the clap game, an intro to the beginning of something to be later played of horror. When one daughter pushes the other daughter into the wall by accident and the basement is revealed, pushing our plot along with an immediate demonstration of what the house is capable of. A hidden basement adds to the house's mystery, telling us, the audience, that this isn't just a normal house, as evident by the dog holding off on coming in earlier and later found dead. The parents are now over their heads, marked in the following scene with Carolyn's morning bruises. Carolyn takes center stage as the audience's main connection to the heart of this film, especially with her themes of family and herself. The value of family is something directly contrasted by Bathsheba and her values in Satan, which is the perfect time to talk about Bathsheba. Bathsheba is our main antagonist. She serves as the boogeyman type role, or the ghost, or the demon, anything that needs a haunted house movie to really flow. She is the creature that haunts the parents, day in and day out. But this takes many liberties from the real life Bathsheba, which takes the true story aspect and flips it over and decimates on it. It's not a true story. It's far from it. A lot of the stuff is taking liberties, as you'd expect. It takes a lot of liberties from the actual Bathsheba and basically plays on the myths that what Bathsheba is. Plays on who she was looked at to. That makes the film in itself more fiction than a true story. This is where the fantastic makeup of Bathsheba herself comes into play. Made by one Eleanor Sablia. You know what? I don't know how to pronounce her last name. But she's worked on Saw, Lights Out, Annabelle Comes Home, The Nun, Aquaman, most movies that James Wan is personally involved with. But she was one of the main makeup artists that did Bathsheba. And Bathsheba herself her makeup is horrendous. It's beautiful yet horrifying. You want to look at it, but when you look at it, it's something more looking back at you. And that's what I think is so excellent about James Wan's vision, is that he has this fantastic makeup team that wants to do makeup like this. It's the beauty of this makeup, the beauty of Bathsheba's horrendous look. You can tell this woman has been dead. You can tell this woman is evil. You can tell this woman is horrific, all by just one glance at her. It's like Freddy Krueger almost. You look at Freddy Krueger and you see evil. You see child killer. Everything. You see guy who was set on a goddamn fire. But that's the point of makeup. It's the beauty of it that shows us who this character is. Anyways, got off track. Back to Bathsheba and more about her. The Warrens themselves, Ed and Lorraine, are always loved as if they were the main characters of the first two films, only really pushed as supporting characters in a way that they keep ghosts in the plot. Demonstrated in one of the opening scenes as a collector of the paranormal, keeping these haunted items off the street in a way, described as it's like keeping guns off the street by Ed Warren in one of the many Conjuring universe films. The Warrens serve the plot and serve as an Avengers-type team, coming in when they need help just to bust ghosts. Help the family afflicted. Later through the plot, they show up to the home and investigate it with their ability to know what's going on. This part reassures the family's worries of them going crazy, eventually building towards the exorcism of Carolyn, a monumental moment for Ed's character as he has never done this. He's not licensed to, showing Ed's true love and care for stopping evil from the world. Yeah, this is another issue I have with the film. He is looked at like a ghostbuster, or even quite an angel. This includes his wife too, Lorraine. I feel as if the film would have played better if, once again, the parents had to do this all on their own. They had to work it out, as I said, through love and strength, etc. But once you add Ed and Lorraine themselves, it becomes, look at these two guys. These two guys are going to save us all. And it's always described in these movies as, this is the biggest case they've ever done. This is the creepiest case they've ever done. When, really, it's just the same case, over and over. Fast forwarding past the exorcism, Carolyn escapes and runs off with her daughter. The one thing that snaps her out of this trance is the moment when she's about to kill her daughter. It's a forced scene that had been set up earlier. The scene shows the parents while they run together on a cliche family moment along the beach. Your usual family themes or whatever. It's very forced. It's not cliche. I mean, it is very cliche, but it's very forced. It doesn't come naturally. It's when Lorraine asks Carolyn, "Hey, what is this photo?" And then Carolyn goes back and describes a memory. It sets it up for earlier, yes, so it doesn't come out of left field, but it's also very forced and unnatural. And it only serves there as a prerequisite for the ending where the same exact memory is brought up, snapping Carolyn out of her possession. The Conjuring is very cliche. It's horribly cliche, almost to its fault. But that isn't a horribly bad thing. Instead, it works in its favor, becoming a horror classic, upholding as the best one in the series, as no other Conjuring universe movie is anywhere near it besides maybe The Conjuring 2, or maybe 3. I mean, even James Wan is a visionary behind the camera. He's amazing to watch. Malignant, Saw, he is one of the greatest horror directors. But he is all about dumb fun, and that's why people love him. And The Conjuring is nothing more than dumb fun. But it's the issue that in the future, that's what's plagued by James Wan. Every film that comes afterwards is always produced by James Wan in trailers just to sell his name, because they know people love to watch him behind the camera. But that's the issue with modern horror, and a whole other thing of itself. The Conjuring, whilst enjoying a simple watch-through, is very clear that it had a love and passion put into it by the actors, by everyone who worked on the team, especially the makeup artists, and the set designers, and everyone who did those cameras, stunts, everything. It's good. And that's why we shouldn't just hate on The Conjuring from when it's not in its greatest moments. I mean, Bathsheba. But we can't hate on something when its faults somewhat help it, maybe in ways. We should love The Conjuring. And that's not me saying that don't go hating on The Conjuring because, oh, it's only a movie. Don't go hating on The Conjuring because it's not a 5-star movie. No. The Conjuring is good. Don't hate on it. It's bringing back classic horror in today's age. It's bringing what in the old ages were The Omen or fucking Paranormal Activity, etc. It's bringing back the classic horror that general audiences love. And that's why I love The Conjuring myself. And this is a little opinionated, but I love The Conjuring and embrace it with love all myself. Because I think The Conjuring is a good movie. Not a 5-star movie, maybe, but a 4-star movie. And you know what? Still worth watching. It's still worth all the love.